Hey seniors, today is our last day of benchmark review and we're going to focus on exemplar answers to improve our explanations. So when I'm writing answers, I want to focus on using as much information as possible, especially when I'm talking about slope. I want to use my graph and my table to find the slope and write and the units in order to improve my response. So let's just look at what an exemplar response would look like for slope. All right, so let's look at this exemplar response. The slope is blank because x is increasing by 1, y is changing by blank. I know this because I calculated the difference in y divided by the difference in x to find the change in y over the change in x. And of course, this is if you're finding the slope of a table. So let's say I'm given the equation y equals 2x minus 5. What I would write for this is the slope is 2 because as x is increasing by 1, y is changing by 2. I know this because I calculated the difference in y divided by the difference in x to find the change in y over the change in x. Let's look at one with a graph. All right, guys, so this graph is obviously showing us parking costs at the airport. So the slope is representing the cost per number of days, change in y over change in x. And our y-intercept here is obviously 5. That's where my line starts. Let's figure out what our slope is. I start at my y-intercept. I go to my next clear point. I'm going up 5 over 2. My slope is 2.5. My equation here is y equals 2.5x plus 5. So let's look at what an exemplar response for explaining this slope would look like. So an exemplar would look like this. The slope of the graph represents that for every 2.5 days that a car is parked at the airport, the cost increases by 5. And of course, this was our equation, so that makes sense. Another way I could include more information is that the airport charges a one-time fee of $5 and then an additional amount for every day that the car is parked. All right, guys, we're going to do a ton of practice today, so let's get to it.